Hey, I'm Evan, Head of Engineering for RMSTATOR. Today we're working on a 1998 Polaris Sportsman 500, and we're going to show you how to install a new stator. So here's one of our replacement stators. And while you're doing this, it's a great time to go ahead and upgrade your flywheel. You do have to remove the flywheel to get to the stator on these, so it's an excellent time to install one of RMSTATOR's upgraded flywheels that have completely sealed magnets. This prevents a pretty common and major problem with the original flywheels on these. So to get started, you need access to the right side of the motor. You need to go ahead and remove your seat so you can get the right side panel out of the way and remove the footbed on the right side. So we're going to get all that done, and then we'll show you how to start getting access to the side cover. Alright, so we have the right side of the motor accessible now. To remove the floorboard, it's just a couple Phillips head screws with bolts down here to lift the floorboard up. They also attach with one bolt apiece to your front and rear fender. So now that I've got that out of the way and we have access to the side cover, we need to kind of clear everything out of the way so we can remove this. We'll start with the foot brake here. And these have, this linkage has cotter pins on both sides, which I've already removed. So I'm just going to slide them out of the way. Okay, then we need to remove the shift linkages here. These just have a nut on the bottom of each side. So I'm going to remove them. Okay, now that they're loose, I can move the recoil starter out of the way and slide the linkages out of the way. Okay, now I've already removed most of these. They're 8mm bolts all the way around. So I'm going to pull the last two out, and then I can pop the side cover loose, and you'll see the recoil start assembly in there. So now that that's out of the way, you can go ahead and get the flywheel off. Alright, so to get the flywheel off, you have to use a puller. This type of flywheel has 3 threaded holes that are equally spaced around the crankshaft here. So you have to use a round puller like this with three holes in it. So I've got the bolts tightened up. I've already loosened this, but I'm just showing you how to install it. And then you have to slowly turn your inner bolt here, pressing against the crankshaft until your flywheel comes loose. So here's an original flywheel, obviously with the exposed magnets. This one's still in good shape, but obviously we're replacing it. So make sure that your woodruff key is still installed on the crankshaft here. It can fall out when you pull the flywheel off, so just make sure you didn't lose it. So now that you got all that off, you're ready for the next step. Okay, so we're gonna reinstall this. We're using our new RMSTATOR flywheel, and it just slides back on. Make sure you line up the slot on the inside here with the woodruff key on the crankshaft. So I'm going to line that up and just press it in. Okay, and then we need to put our washer and nut back in place. So I'm gonna slide that over. Okay, so that's on, and then I'm not gonna completely finish this right now, but you can use an impact wrench to reinstall this. It's the easiest way to do it, or an impact gun. And make sure that's completely tight. That'll pull the flywheel all the way in on the taper. Okay, so once that's done, you can reinstall your side case. There was a gasket used on this one, or you can use some RTV sealer. And it just lines back up and slides in place. And you want to install your side cover bolts. I'm just going to put a couple in place right now. Reinstall those all the way around and tighten them up. And then we need to put the shift linkages back in place. So I'm going to go ahead, drop that one in. Make sure you put the nut back on the bottom of it. And then install your other shift linkage at the back. Same thing. And then you need to install your brake lever down here, which slides through both linkages. Make sure you put the cotter pins back in place so this guy's locked up. And after that, you can reinstall your bodywork, the footbed and the side panel here, and then get your seat back in place. So once that's all done, you've finished reassembling your motor and you're ready to go. Okay, and when we do any work on the charging system, it's always a good idea to do a final test and make sure everything's working well. So here I've got the seat removed and the batteries kind of mounted on the side of the frame here. I have some alligator clips running around to the battery terminals so we can get a good connection to it. So basically we're just going to fire it up and monitor the battery voltage, and we want to see it get upwards of 14.6 volts, 14.7 or so. We want to see it regulate around there. And I'm going to go ahead and fire it up and we'll see what happens. So perfect, we see upwards of 14.6 volts, which says that we're getting good output from the charging system and the regulator's working fine, holding the voltage down. And then we'll see the meter drop back down to the resting voltage, 12, high 12s, 13. So that's about it. We know our charging system's working fine, and the Sportsman's ready to go.